Hello and welcome to Colorado Mountain College. My name is Joseph Police and I'm going to be your online math teacher this semester. This class that you're in is a part of the School of Transitional Education. This is often called developmental education as well. But this is, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that is in the next couple of minutes. But I just want to introduce myself. Again, my name is Joseph Police, and this is a video about the online course orientation. So I'm going to teach you how to be a student in this class, kind of the expectations of, how to do homework, how to take notes, how to, how I'm going to grade you and all that kind of stuff. We're going to go over the syllabus in this video as well. A little bit about me. I'm a high school math teacher in Frisco, Colorado. I'm an adjunct CMC professor, so I teach Math 050 and Math 055, and then I do a lot of concurrent enrollment for the high school that I teach at. The reason I am a teacher at the school that I'm a teacher at is because I specialize in flipped, blended, and online learning. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I teach this way, and why it's so powerful and how you can become a better student from it. So we'll see in a bit. Okay, so just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the School of Transitional Education. This school is also called the School of Developmental Education. And so the point of this class and these classes that are in this part of Colorado Mountain College is to prepare you for college level courses and your degree requirements, okay? And so, one thing that you have to understand is that even though you are in college, these courses are preparing you for college level, okay? So what these courses do is they provide you the additional skills that you're going to need for college level courses. You were probably placed in this class based by an Accuplacer score or some sort of standardized test score like an SAT. Okay, and the difference between the School of Transitional Education or DevEd and your normal CMC classes is that the credits for this class count towards your GPA only and not your degree. It can sometimes be part of like an admission into your degree. I know for like nursing, for example, you need Math 055 in order to get into the nursing program, and I think that you're done with classes. But one of the things that I want you guys to do is talk to your advisor about what math classes you need for your degree. Okay. And that's really important that you have a clear picture as to what you need to take. And make sure that, when you take a math class, so, right now it's, whatever semester it is, you should be making sure that you are taking a math class the next following semester, okay? Because right now, when you're in this class, it's going to be fresh. All right, you want to make sure that by the next time that you can take the next opportunity you can take a class, that you're taking a math class. And you want to keep that ball rolling, because if you take a semester off or you take a year off, you're not going to remember everything that was taught to you in the class that you're currently in. So it's really important that you talk to your advisor about that and you knock these credits out. The other thing that I do want to mention about this, sorry that I'm going top to bottom to top here, is if you were to fail or withdraw from this course, this can affect financial aid. So if you are receiving financial aid, you do need to be aware that if you do end up failing this class or you withdraw for whatever reason, that you want to make sure that that doesn't affect your financial aid, okay? And so what we call that is the Satisfactory Academic Progress, or SAP. And you're going to want to talk to your financial aid advisor about that if you have any questions. So I just wanted to make sure, the portion of this video, guys, is to make sure that you understand what kind of credit you're getting in this class and how that plays a role in your degree. Everyone's going to be different, okay? So it's something that you got to talk to your advisor about and make sure that you're, in the right place. There's nothing wrong with being in this class, okay? simply what it says is that we need to, give you some more skills in order to take those college level courses, even though you are in college, okay? But we want to make sure that before you start taking those college level courses, that you have the necessary skills to be successful in those courses, okay? All right. All right, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what flipped, blended, and online learning is. And before I do that, I want to tell you a little story. In the summer of 2012, at the high school I used to work at in Kansas City, they wanted me to teach calculus, okay? And before I taught calculus, I had to go and brush up on my trigonometry, which is like an aspect of math that you kind of have to know before you do calculus. And so, I hadn't done trigonometry in about, 8 years. And so I went back to brush up, and I did what I normally would do, is I would get the book, and I started reading the book. Now, I had about 2 weeks to brush up on all of my trigonometry. And what happened is that I, within about, I probably read the book for about 2 hours. I got through one page, and I had more questions than I had answers to. And I got really frustrated, and I had about 100 pages to get through of material. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to take way too long. I don't have any other resources. But then what I decided to do to try to answer some of my questions, I went to YouTube and I typed in trigonometry. And what happened is I had a list of videos that popped up. And I watched videos for about another 2 hours. And I was able to brush up on all of my trigonometry in 2 hours. So what I thought about when I said, look, it took me 2 hours to brush up on something via video versus something that would have taken me weeks, maybe months to do via book. And so I had this idea. Now, I'm not the first person to have this idea, but it's the concept of using videos to learn, okay? And I embarked on this thing called the flipped classroom. Since I've moved to Colorado and working at a school that we use a lot of this stuff, I started doing a lot of things like blended learning and all that. So they're all kind of similar, but what you guys are really going to be focusing on right now is the online learning aspect. And so what I've done is I have taken the concept of the flipped classroom and blended learning, and I've turned it and made that into a cool form of online learning. So, one of the cool things about the ability to learn via video is that this becomes a very personalized learning experience for you. I want you to think back to the last math class that you were ever in. And I want you to think about what happened when the teacher was up at the board teaching. And when they were up at the board teaching, you probably understood what they were doing, and you were able to follow along. Maybe you had some questions here and there. But then, flip forward 5 to 6 hours, and all of a sudden it's time for you to do the homework, and you're looking at a set of notes, and you're looking at the book, and you're wondering to yourself, what am I supposed to do? Now, when the teacher did it, it was really easy. But now that I'm doing it on my own, it's really hard. And I always had this problem growing up. I was this type of math student, and I would come home and I'd start working on math, and I'd be like, wait a second, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I wouldn't do anything, and I'd go to class the next day, and I'd be like, hey, I don't understand what I was supposed to do last night. And that was a problem because I wasn't using my time efficiently. And I wasn't learning to the best of my ability. And so what I realized was, I often at the time sat there and said, what if I had a video that explained how to do this so that when I was stuck, I could go back and rewatch that video to brush up on what I was doing. So, that's the type of, math student that I was. And this concept of using videos to learn really, really, really helps that type of learner, which I think is almost everybody, okay? So the cool thing about this is that this becomes very personalized. You have the ability to stop, pause, rewind, speed up, slow down the video so that you can learn at your own pace. And so it's self-paced, okay? So you're not going to be sitting there in class saying, hey, I don't want to raise my hand and ask a question because I don't want to slow the class down. You can go at your own pace. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So the cool other thing, is the convenience of this. Is that you can do this class on your own time and you can do it anywhere that you have an internet connection. Okay, which is one of the really cool things about online learning. But the most important thing that you have to do is you must learn how to be a student in this type of class. Okay, and we're going to learn how to do that here in a second. So sit back, and what I want you guys to do is to get out that the syllabus and note packet that that is on the syllabus orientation assignment. I want you to make sure you have that printed out. We're going to go over how to take notes and how to be a student in this online class in the next part of the video. All right, so in this portion of the video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to take notes. And so what I want you to notice is that this page here that you see matches what you guys have printed out from the syllabus orientation PDF that's on Canvas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to talk about how to take notes. All right, so I'm going to write on this part of the paper, and what I want you guys to do is to follow along and write down what I write down, okay? And the purpose of this, how this class works, is we're going to practice taking notes. All right, and that's our objective for this, all right? So we're going to talk about various things about this class, but this is kind of the practice on how to take notes. And let's go ahead and start this. So the purpose of the videos, okay, now the purpose of the videos, guys, is that we want to learn from the videos. Oops. From the videos, okay? That's the point of them, all right? And that's where you guys are going to do the majority of your learning. Now, when we, your way to access the videos, so these are accessible, so you can access them on Canvas, okay? Or you can access them on YouTube as well, okay? And the important thing is that we learn from the videos. Okay, I can't stress that enough, that you learn. This is where you learn in this class. So you learn from the videos, okay? And this is very important that we understand that. Okay, so very important that we understand that that's where we are learning, okay? And the cool thing about having videos and learning from the videos is you have the ability to pause, rewind, speed up, or slow down the videos, okay? And that's a feature that's on YouTube, is that you have the ability to pause, rewind, speed up, slow down anything. So if you feel like, hey, I know this pretty well, I can go through this at a pretty fast pace, that's fine. If you want to slow down the video to have it make more sense so that you have more time to write, that's cool too. Cool thing is that you can pause, you can rewind, and go back through. All right. The other thing about the purpose of the videos is that there isn't a designated time that this class meets, so you have to create time. So where is the time that you're going to utilize the videos? You have to make time for this class, okay? And that's important, okay? Now, right now, this is a 5 credit hour course, okay? And what's recommended is that, for a 5 credit hour course, that you spend, for every credit hour of courses that you're taking, that you're spending 2 to 3 hours per credit hour working outside of class. So what that means, basically, for this class, the recommended time is anywhere from 10 to 15 hours per week, okay? Now, I'm going to be pretty real with you guys. this is the most important thing about the class, is that you find the time to do this per week. If you don't, this class will be a struggle, okay? This class takes time. Learning math takes time, okay? It's not something that you're going to hear once and simply absorb. You need to practice. You need to do homework. You need to watch the videos. It is going to take time. This is only recommended, okay? I've known people that can spend probably a little bit less than this. I've seen students that have spent more time than this per week. But the bottom line is that you have to spend a certain amount of time doing this class. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle, okay? Now, if you do spend this amount of time per week on this class, that's something, and you will be fine, okay? If you spend time and you're working and you're following all the directions I give you, you're going to be fine. But I just want to make sure that I have this information out there, and that's the expectation, is that you are doing this on your own, okay? All right, the other cool thing about the videos is that you can go back and rewatch, okay? So, there are times where we will have an opportunity to meet virtually, but you have the ability to rewatch the videos, okay? So that if you have a question and you're going, hey, I've got all day to work on this, I can't meet with Joe for a while, then, you have the ability to go back and rewatch those videos, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to take notes, okay? Taking notes is a very difficult skill to learn, okay? Oftentimes I remember, when I would take notes, I would, go through them. I would take notes, write everything down the teacher says, and then when I went back to, to go look at my notes to see if they could help me answer a question, oftentimes I'd look at my notes and I'd have no idea what, the teacher would say. Okay, so it's really important that we know how to take notes because, the point of taking notes is that you learn from your notes, okay? So, all right, first of all, okay, strategies for taking notes is you want to write down everything. Write down everything that the teacher writes. Okay, that the teacher writes. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, so you want to write those things down. Okay, but the biggest important thing about notes is that you want to make sure that you understand the notes. Okay, that is the biggest aspect of this. Understand your notes. Okay, because if you don't understand your notes, well then what are you doing? Why are you writing notes? Okay, there's like no point. Okay, so the other tactic about taking notes and making sure that you understand what you're doing is that sometimes you may want to write down what the teacher says but doesn't write. Okay, and that's important because, there are times when I'll be explaining a concept and I'll be, describing that concept and you'll want to, maybe jot down some of those things that I'm saying, okay? Another tactic for taking good notes is writing down step-by-step instructions. So write down step-by-step instructions on how to do things. Okay. All right. The other thing that you can do is, let's say you're stuck on something while you're, watching a video. You should also be writing down questions you have. And that's a really good tactic, okay? Writing down questions you have. And sometimes I will answer those questions in the video. Sometimes I may not, okay? And so those are things that you can, often, after the video say, hey, I got a question, I don't understand this aspect of, the video. And that's totally normal and that's totally fine, but it's important you write those things down. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about on how to take notes is that you will have to turn these in for a grade. So you will turn in for a grade. Okay, and that's really important that we do this because I do take a grade on this. Okay, all right, and so let's kind of talk about that, let's talk how to do homework and turn it in. So we'll turn homework the same way in as we turn in notes, and I'll talk about that. But the one thing I want to talk about here is that homework is due weekly on Thursdays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so homework and your notes and all the things that are due for the week are due on Thursdays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, I do accept late work, but I got to keep some sort of like schedule. And so Thursdays at midnight is the time at which I expect things to be done. I know you guys have lives. I know that you may take a day or two to get those in, but it's really important that we try to get those in Thursdays at midnight, okay? So let's talk about how to do homework. First things first, homework is done out of the book, okay? Homework is done out of the book. All right, so make sure that you get the book, and we'll talk about that with that information's in your syllabus with the ISBN number and all that kind of stuff. So it's important that we get that purchased here soon, and that information can also be found online on Basecamp. So homework is also done on notebook paper or some sort of paper. Okay. All right, and you will, but the difference is that you will turn this in online. Okay, so you'll turn it in on Canvas. So turn in online on Canvas. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. And what I want you to do for that, in order to turn it in online, is you'd want to scan this in. So scan in as a PDF. Okay, and that's how you'll turn those in. There are apps on the phone that you can use to scan those in. There are, like Tiny Scanner and things like that. But the other, the other main scanner that you can use is simply, if you have an iPhone, you can use the Notes app through, and you can scan in PDFs that way. Okay. Now, we're doing homework. One of the things that you'll have to do is check your answers. Okay, so how to check your answers. And what I'll provide with you guys are the solutions. So solutions to the homework will be online. So solutions are posted online. Okay. And so, it's important that you check your answers, okay? So when you're, doing your homework, one of the things that you'd want to do is you want to sit there and the first question that you want to ask yourself is, am I correct? Okay, so the first question you'd ask yourself is, am I correct? All right, when you're checking your work, okay? And then the second question you'd want to ask yourself is, let me write this down, second question is my work correct? So does the work that I have or my logic match what the teacher has? So is the work correct? All right. And that's really important. It's important that you to get from point A to point B, is your work logical? Is it correct? Okay. All right. So the other thing is that if you're wrong, Okay, so if you get a question wrong, so if you're wrong, all right, can you explain the teacher's step-by-step process? Okay, can you explain the step-by-step process on the solutions? Okay, and that's kind of a unique. Can you? Okay, so let me put a question mark here. Okay, I want to talk about that for just a quick minute here. Okay, so when you're checking your solutions, okay, if you're wrong, okay, so let's say you're doing homework and you get something wrong, can you go through my work and go step by step and understand what I did from step to step? When you can do that and you understand that flow of my work, that is a way to learn math, okay? And that's something that you guys have to do on your own. So the solutions, the answers can help you understand how to do the problems, okay? Now, the important thing is that you don't just simply copy, okay? So that you, all right, so do not copy. All right, you will not learn anything from simply copying answers online, okay? The point of this is that you want to use the solutions for understanding, okay? These are a tool, all right? Use solutions for understanding, okay? Not to simply copy. And there's a reason why I'm doing this, okay? And this is one of the cool things that's going to help you learn in this class, and it's the most important part of this class, is that you are going to record yourself doing math, okay? And this is the most important part of the course, all right? So this is the most important part of the course. All right. And this is where you're going to do the most learning, okay? So let's talk about what my expectations are for this, okay? The important thing is when you record yourself doing math, okay, I want to hear your voice and see you write. Much like how you're seeing this now, okay? You know, you don't see my face on this, but you can hear my voice and you can see what I'm writing, okay? So that is I have to have that, okay? This is a must. If I don't see what you're writing down as you're saying it, I can't grade that, okay? I have to really see what you write and hear your voice, okay? Now, in order to record yourself, you have to choose a method of recording. So choose a method of recording that works for you, okay? So choose a method of recording. Now, what I use, guys, is I use an iPad and I use a software called Explain Everything. Now, I had to buy the iPad and I had to pay for the software. So, you know, the key to this is I don't want you to go out and have to do exactly what I'm doing. If you have an iPad and you have a stylus and you're capable of doing that and uploading those videos into Canvas, then that's great. But, you know, let's kind of think of like some options that you can use. You can use a tablet, all right, and you can write on it just like how I'm doing. You can use a phone, okay? And what I mean by that is you could hold your phone up, all right, hold the phone up so that and show your writing. Hold the phone up and then show your writing. Okay, that's probably the most preferred way. I feel like this method here is probably the best because you guys all have phones, okay, and that's a pretty easy thing to do, okay. The other thing that you can do is use your computer. Okay, your computer, your computer has a webcam. Okay, so you can use your webcam and a whiteboard. And what I'm noticing is that some of you guys already have, have already taken one of my classes, and you're familiar with that process. Okay, so you can use a webcam on your computer and a whiteboard and write on that. Okay, and so, but the main thing is, if you're going to use your webcam and a whiteboard, the important thing is that I need to see you write, so and hear your voice. It may be awkward, it may take a little bit of getting used to, but those are some ways that I want you to do. So, be aware that this may take time to troubleshoot, okay? This may take time to troubleshoot, all right? Especially with, uploading the videos into Canvas, okay? We'll talk about like file size and all that kind of stuff. Okay, the other thing is you're probably sitting there going, all right, taking a math class online is very different, okay? How do you ask for help in an online setting, okay? And the cool thing is that every week I hold virtual office hours. Depending on what class you're in, there is a set time per week that I can do that. So if you're, I'll label that in the next part of the video, depending on if you're in Math 050 or 055. So virtual office hours, and this is done through Webex. So the cool thing is that, CMC, so done through this program called Webex. And what it does, I basically sit in front of my computer. I have my webcam on me, and you guys will log in. I'll be able to see your face or hear your voice, and then you will be able to see, I'll be able to plug in my iPad, and I'll be able to actually write in real time, and we can have a conversation, and I can go over stuff with you in real time, okay? So, pretty cool thing that we have. So virtual office hours, utilize them, okay? And so let's just write down that we can talk in real time. Okay. I can instruct in real time. So I can instruct in real time. Okay. And that's pretty powerful. So if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I got a question, and it's over just, something pretty quick and easy, I can write on the iPad and we can have a conversation, and it's pretty cool. The other thing that you can do is, in here, let's talk about this. Virtual office hours, those happen typically between 6 and 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Depending on what class you're in, it won't be every day, but, so like one class will run Monday and Wednesday. The other class that I teach will run Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay? So I can't remember which one's which, but so it's only going to be 2 days a week that I'll hold this, okay? If those times don't work for you, you can schedule a time, okay? I am rather flexible. If there's a time, say early in the morning or directly after school, that's a time that we can, meet if that works for you. If 6 to 8 p.m. is like absolutely not happening, let me know. Okay, if you want to get together, we can get together. All right, but you have to make sure that you schedule that time with me and make sure it works. Okay, I do have a life, believe it or not, and I do things outside of working. I have a full-time job, guys. I work from 7:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. and then I do this stuff in the evening. So if there is a time that works a little bit better for you, we can make that work. But it's important that you do this. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can send me an email, send a picture of your question. Okay, and I will respond with a video. Okay, I can quickly make a video and just send it off to you. So respond with a video. Okay, the other thing that you can do, if you want to, you can just send me a video. Okay, and telling me where you're having trouble. All right. So a lot of different ways where you can ask questions and get help from me. Okay. One of the things that we got to talk about is where to take exams. Okay, you are going to take 4 total assessments. Okay, 4 total assessments. All right, 2 will be take-home exams. Okay, 2 are take-home, and we're going to call those tests. So 2 take-home tests. Okay. And then you will take 2 proctored exams. And a proctored exam means that you have to go to a CMC location. All right, let's write this down first. Okay, hold on. So 2 take-home tests, and those will be scanned in as a PDF. So scanned as a PDF. Okay. When you take your proctored exam, this will be done at a CMC testing location. So done at a CMC testing location. All right. You will have to schedule this. So these are scheduled in advance, and I'll talk more about that. Scheduled in advance during a certain week, okay? During a specific time. All right, so there will be a week where you'll have to take your midterm and your final, and those will have to be done at CMC. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here is your grading policy, okay? And your grading policy is as such. You have homework and notes, okay? You have weekly demonstration of skills, okay, which I call recording yourself. So weekly demonstration of skills. Okay, and this is going to be where you record yourself. Record yourself. Okay. The last thing that we have are tests and exams. Okay. Now, within each of these, your homework and your notes accounts for 5% of your grade. This is weighted. Okay, the weekly demonstration of skills when you record yourself is a whopping 35%. Okay, tests and exams are going to be 65%, or no, 60%, sorry. Okay, now here's what you need. In order to pass, okay, this is very, very important. So in order to pass the class, all right, you must earn at least a 75%. Must earn at least 75%. Okay, so I put the videos, the weekly demonstration of skills, as a very high weight because this is the most important part of the class, okay? It's important, yes, that you do your homework and you do, it should be HW, not HM. Homework and notes is important. That's where you do your learning, but this is where you are going to learn the most, okay? And then you have to perform on a test or exam, okay? So that's how the breakdown is going to go. And I just want to make sure that that's clear, that you guys understand that. All right. So, I want you to take a look at this. All right. I wrote very, very, very small when I wrote these notes down. Okay. You will need to write small. Okay. Because I write small. All right. But utilize your space. If you need a couple extra pieces of paper, all the notes will be provided to you. This is how, my videos typically run. But I wanted to make sure that I went through, not only how to take notes and some strategies for taking notes, but just kind of like how to be a student in this online class, okay? And if you follow these instructions, you will be very successful, okay? And the most important thing, remember, is your time, okay? It's going to take time. So if you're not prepared to spend that kind of time, or any time, all right, then, it's not going to happen, okay? You are in college. You are going to have to do this thing called put in the good old college try, which means you actually just kind of sit down and do the work. So, all right, so that's it for this portion of the video. The next part, we're going to go over the syllabus, important dates, and things like that. So hang. Okay, so in this part of the video, what I want to do is, go over the syllabus. All right, this is what I would do if we were actually in class. I would pass this out and I would talk about it. So we're going to do that part. It's kind of your job to actually read through this whole thing. I'm going to highlight a couple of things that are going to be really important to you, but otherwise. This stuff is pretty straightforward. So format of the class, this is an online class. We are in algebraic literacy. Here is the course code. We are taking this during the fall of 2020. This is a 4-credit-hour course. Now, here's the other stipulation with this. You must be also enrolled in Math 025, okay? That is a co-requisite, meaning that you have to take the lab course in conjunction with this course. So if you're not enrolled in that, I'll make sure that you do. I'll reach out to you, but in any case, that's a co-requisite that is required, okay? The start date, we start this class on August 31st, 2020. We will finish the class on December 11th, 2020, okay? So we have a decent amount of time. We have a total of 15 weeks, all right, which is a good amount of time. The refund date, the last day that you can get a refund for this class, you have to drop the class by September 15th, okay? And then if you don't do that and you continue to go through the class, the last day that you can withdraw from the class is November 16th. Now, what that means is that you withdraw with a W, meaning that you're not going to be penalized, on your transcript. It won't show up as a fail. Okay, but if you withdraw, it'll show up as a W on your transcript, which just meant that you withdrew from the class, and that's totally okay, all right? The one other important one is the no-show reporting date, all right? So September 9th, 2020 is the no-show reporting date. So if you read through this, all right, this kind of tells you about what the no-show means, meaning that I will drop you from this course if I don't get the first 4 assignments from the week 1 module, okay? So you have to complete those first 4 assignments from that module in order to stay in the class. So if you don't do that within the first week, and the first actual 7 class days from the start of the course, then I'll drop you from the course and we'll try again next time. So that's just how that works in an online setting, okay? So let's continue to read through this. Again, all this stuff I'll let you kind of read through, but certain things I'll highlight. Here's my name. This is my cell phone number, okay? So if you guys need to get a hold of me, you can call or text. Make sure you leave a message if If you do call and I don't answer, but that's how you can get a hold of me quickly if you need to. All right, here's my CMC email if you'd like to email me. All right, so that's my contact information. The other part of this is office hours. Guys, I'm here to help you. I can meet with you through a Zoom call and give you one-on-one help. All right, normally a professor or an adjunct has specific office hours. You simply just need to get in contact with me and we'll set up an appointment for me to help you. Okay, so please try and use that resource that's available to you. All right. Required course materials, you'll need a computer with internet access since this is an online class. You will need a method to record yourself doing math. So this would be a camera on a cell phone, a webcam on a computer, or a tablet device. You can do your math on paper, a whiteboard, or tablet device that you can write on, and you'll need to be able to record yourself doing that. All right, and I'll go through what that looks like when you do that. All right. Here's the book, all right, and the book is actually found in the first module on Canvas, all right, and there was that video on how to access Canvas that I sent to you guys already, so hopefully you're able to just access that book. It should automatically pop up for you. Okay, now let's look at the next page. Okay, you'll also need a basic calculator. We won't be utilizing the CMC testing centers this semester just because of COVID, but try not to use your cell phone as a calculator. Try and just get like a simple basic calculator, that'd be fine. And then notebook, paper, and pencils, okay? And so if you read through this, you've got credit-based stuff through the LMP. It is through this program that all physical or digital books are listed above and all that. So you already pay for this through your tuition, so the book is just going to be available to you on Canvas, all right? If you keep reading through this, and if you guys have questions about this, reach out to these numbers. Make sure you read this stuff, all right? It's up to you to read that. Here's what we're going to cover during this course, all right? So I'll let you read through that as well. Okay, so all this is the different stuff that we're going to cover during the class. You can leave me feedback at the end of the semester. There will be a link on Canvas, and you can make a survey or fill out a survey based on this, okay? The next one, the really important one, is the evaluation methods. This is how you get graded, okay? So your grades come in 3 different things. You have homework assignments, notes that you fill out, in discussions that I collect every week, okay, every Thursday. That's going to account for 15% of your grade. Now, the other thing that I do weekly is the weekly demonstration of skills. This is the part where you are going to record yourself doing math. That's going to account for 25% of your grade, okay? And then the remainder of your grade comes from tests and exams, and that's going to be 60%. Okay, so here's your grading scale. So 90 to 100% is an A. Let's flip the page. An 80 to an 89.9 or 89% is a B. 75% to a 79% is a C. 60 to 74 is a D. And then 59% and below is an F. Now, in order to pass this class, you must earn a C, which is a 75% or better. If you don't earn a C, then you won't get credit for the class, okay? I will let you guys read through the whole class management portion. We meet online, guys, but, the one thing that I just hope that you'll do is just in those discussion posts and stuff like that, be nice to each other, and just be present, okay? But as you read through this, all written assignments should include your name, date, the section number of the activity, and then each assignment needs to be submitted online as a scanned PDF or as a picture, okay? Weekly assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. each Thursday night unless the instructor has indicated otherwise. Work will be accepted late with no penalty, but this is highly discouraged. We have deadlines, guys, but again, we're in an online setting. My goal for you is to learn and do the work, okay? However, what you will quickly realize is that if you get behind, catching up will be a daunting process, okay? Every student that I've had that struggled and they don't keep up with their weekly work,
they always say at the end of the semester, I wish I would have kept a schedule and stayed on track. Okay, if you keep up with your work, this is doable. Okay, now your attendance in an online class is extremely important. Okay, students are encouraged to spend some time each day working on the class. Okay, the recommended amount of time would be 15 hours per week on this course to ensure success. Now that's a recommendation, it's not mandatory, all right? But if you spend 15 hours on this, you're going to do just fine, and that's per week, okay? Okay, the next thing, students are required to respect each other's rights to learn. So just be nice to each other. I know we're in an online setting, so you guys don't get to know each other like you would in a normal class, but in discussions like that, feel free to comment on other people's discussions and just be nice, okay? If you are having problems with the class, please get in touch with me because I'll check in with you, every couple of weeks, and I'll send out weekly emails, but it's really important that you guys tell me if you're having problems and, schedule a time for us to meet, okay? Here's a number of things on how to be successful in the class. All right, so be active, okay? One of the things about this class is that it requires you to do the work yourself, okay? I'm not gonna do the work for you, you have to do it, okay? But follow my example and practice, okay? Do the homework, all right? Make sure that you're actually legitimately doing the homework. Participate in those discussion posts, get to know each other, all right? Make sure that you are doing the videos. This is the most important part of the class. Remember, if you can teach something to somebody else, that means that you know it, okay? Next, check your homework answers with the back of the book solutions or the ones that I provide, okay? You can read your textbook, all right? So everything that I'm teaching you can actually be read from the textbook. And organize your schedule. Make sure that you have time set aside each day or every other day to be working on this class because it is a lot of work, okay? And make sure, you're studying. And if you want to study, you guys can get in contact with each other. And if you need, if you want to get together and do a Zoom call or something like that and study together, we can do that. So, but yeah, next page. Okay, so student consumer information. I will let you guys, read through this about services that are available to you and all of that. So if you want to click on these links, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to me. Libraries. Your library, you do have a lot of stuff available to you if you'd like to use it. Now, the other thing that's important is that you also have free tutoring available from CMC. So make sure that you guys are clicking on this link to set up any tutoring for the class. Again, I can always help you, but you do have these options available to you in the event that my my schedule doesn't match up with yours exactly, okay? All right, let's take a look at the course schedule. Now, what this says is the week number, the sections you cover, and then what's due. So here's week 1, and here are all the assignments that you have to get through, all right? And you'll see this, all the weeks are labeled in modules on Canvas, okay? So you can go through that to see, all right? And if you look through this, all right, it's really important that you understand that, as you look through each of these weeks with what we're doing, notice that, we're doing like a minimum of 3 sections a week, and in some cases 4, okay? So we are moving through this pretty quick. Now, I also have like the important dates, like the no-show reporting, the refund date. During week 4, you take your first take-home test. During week 8, you take your midterm. And, as you go down, you see what's going on each week. This is the withdraw date is this week. Notice that you have, during week 13, the last week of November, we actually are doing stuff during that week. And even though that's Thanksgiving, there are some things that are due, okay? The thing of it is, guys, is that we want you to work ahead if you can, all right? But if you can't, just know that, this is what's due, okay? And again, I accept late work, but it's important that you try and stay up on this stuff, okay? Okay, and so on the last one, notice how during week 14, even though that's after, Thanksgiving, and you had a couple things due that week, this week here is a catch-up week. So there's nothing due this week. And then the last week, on week 15, is you have your final exam, okay? And so, everything is due on December 11th at 11:59 p.m. That's Friday, December 11th. So that's the last day that you can turn in anything. But I just wanted to go over this schedule and this syllabus with you. Now let's go back into that orientation to find out more about submitting homework and submitting videos.
All right, so on this part, I want to talk about how to take notes and turn them in. So one of the hard things about an online class is my ability to check your work, to check to see if you've done it, if you've done what I've asked you to do. And so what we have to do is we have to do this, turn things in digitally. All right, so the first things first, what I want you to do is, have your computer open and have your notes out, okay? And then whenever I write on the computer, then you write out on your notes. Okay, when you're done with that, when you've watched the video and you've taken all the notes, what I want you to do is then take a picture of your notes, okay, and put a smile on your face because we're having fun when we do this. But when you have this, you can either take a picture of the actual notes themselves, or you can, but the difference is that you get kind of all this extra stuff on the sides and all that. So what you could do is scan it in with your phone, okay? And there's an app for that. And that app is called the Tiny Scanner PDF scanner. So what you would do, what it does is it takes the camera on your phone and it turns it into a PDF scanner. So what I would want you to do, if you do the PDF scanner, you'll create a document that is, your notes, okay? So you would have a document that does this. Or what you can do is you can do, take the photo and paste it into a Word document. And then save as a PDF, okay? And you can do that too. I would prefer you to do it as a PDF. In any case, I want you to turn in PDFs, okay? But if you do, I would prefer if you guys scan them in as a PDF before you do anything. But that's kind of my preference. But if you want to take a photo and put it and paste it into a Word document, you can do that too. Okay, now what I mean by that is take a photo, you may want to email it to yourself and then put it into a Word document, save it as a PDF. And then, the cool thing is, guys, is that not only do you have like a physical copy of this, but you have a digital copy as well, okay? And a part of this, to practice this, to turn it in, I actually want you to do the same thing with the notes from your orientation. Okay, so right now what I would like you to do is to practice this by physically taking and doing this, taking a scanner, scanning in a photo, and putting it into a PDF, and then turning it in on Canvas. Okay, so you turn them in on Canvas, and it'll be the assignment. So there's instructions on that page on Canvas that tells you what to do. Okay, so now let's talk about doing homework. Okay, on this part, how to do homework and turn it in, you'll turn it in the same way. So you'll turn it in the same way as you would notes. So turn it in, and that's going to be the same way as notes. Okay, and you've had practice on doing that, on Canvas. But I want you to take a look at this picture. Okay, when you're doing homework, there's a couple of things I want you to consider here, okay? Number one is that your notes are out, okay? So here, what I want you to see here is that you have your notes are out, okay? And you also have the video out, okay? And so what happens is that as you're going through problems, what you should do is you should look at your notes and say, okay, if I'm trying to do this problem, what did I do in my notes? Now, if you go into your notes and you say, okay, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense, you should go back to the video and rewatch the video. What did we do in the video that helped us do the problem in the notes? And then how could we apply that to do it from the book, okay? And then you would do your homework on a piece of paper, okay? And what I'd want you to then do is turn it in the same way as you would the notes, okay? And then I'll grade it, accordingly. So, but that's the idea. Okay, now the other thing is that you can also use the homework solutions, okay? Use the solutions to help you understand how I got the answer. So use it to understand. So use it to understand, okay, and not to copy. Okay, and so we've already kind of talked about all that kind of stuff, and you can access the homework solutions on Canvas. Okay, those will be available to you on Canvas as well. All right, so that about does it for homework. Okay, and if you've got questions, get a hold of me, please. All right, and that's all I have for that. Okay. Okay, the last little part I want to talk about is recording yourself. Now, what I do is I use a tablet. I use an iPad with a stylus to do this. To get the sound right, what I do is I use the headphones because on the Apple headphones, you have a microphone right here, and so you always consistently get good sound from that. So this is one option, okay? But there is also another option, and the other option is using Canvas, okay? So using Canvas. And this is kind of the preferred option. This is the cheaper option, obviously, as well. So using Canvas, you'll need to go out and get a small whiteboard, okay? And the whiteboards, I've looked on Amazon, the small whiteboard is around like $8, okay? You'll want to get some whiteboard markers as well. So whiteboard markers. And those are a little expensive too, but you can get those at any, Target, Walmart, whatever. And you can also get a small whiteboard at those same places too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to actually do that on Canvas and how to record yourself doing math on Canvas using the whiteboard. Okay, so what I want you to do for this next part, is actually use the camera that's on your computer. Okay, so use the little camera that's right there, and what you'll do is you'll then bring up your whiteboard here. Isn't this fun? Mine's really big. Yours probably wouldn't be so big, but then what I want you to do is come in here and say, okay, what is, 7 plus 3, okay? I know that 7 plus 3 is equal to 10, and you would make a video explaining that, kind of like what I do, all right? So that's the idea of what I want you to do. Now on Canvas, there will actually be a portion where you can, the assignment will be for you to actually record yourself doing it, okay? And you'll see that on one of them. So on the assignment for the orientation video, what I want you guys to do is to actually just record yourself talking and introduce yourself to me, and give you points for that. So that's kind of the idea. So make sure you go out and get a whiteboard, get a couple whiteboard markers. This one I think shows up backwards for some reason. Yours probably wouldn't do that. If it does, then we'll deal with that and go from there. But yeah, pretty much it. So. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks. All right, so if you're going to record yourself, using your phone to do this, what I would recommend doing is taking your phone, holding it up, and then, writing underneath, okay? And that might be a little bit weird for you, but that might, be a tactic that you can utilize. Okay, when you do that, you're just going to hover your phone over and, just start writing. It is a little weird because you can't really see what you're doing. You may have to like tilt your head over to the right so that you can write better. All right, and then kind of follow your phone along to show that you can write. So that's probably one of the easiest ways to do this. But just trying to give you guys as many options as possible to make your videos. Okay, so once you guys have recorded your video and you have that done, go ahead and hit the export button, which is in the bottom left. And what you'll notice is, I have this video that I just did, and that's the one that's selected. Right below that, you can see this thing called AirDrop. So if you have an iPhone and you have a Mac, you can send files between those devices using AirDrop. So if I automatically just click on my Mac, it'll send this over to my Mac. It might take a minute because it's a video, and it takes a minute to do a video. But what it will do is that will then be downloaded by my computer, and I'll have that video on my computer. The other thing that you can do is, and I'm just going to go ahead and decline it because I don't need it. I will in a minute. I'll need this video. So the video of the video, okay, incepted videos, okay. But you can also email it. You could maybe do, however you want to do it. iCloud photo sharing, send it to yourself via text, or Google Drive, or whatever you want to do. There might be some more options here. It just kind of depends on what you have on your phone. So email works. We'll talk about YouTube if we want to go down that road, but I would prefer not. I prefer all these to be uploaded into Canvas. All right, so while we're on the concept of talking about recording yourself, I want to make a couple of quick notes. And the first thing is that your files, when you do upload these videos, can be no longer larger than 5 megabits, okay? But the cool thing is that you can upload as many videos you want into that assignment, but each video can't exceed 5 megabits. So you may, have this issue where you've got too many, your video's too long, you can cut it up, okay? And the other important thing is I must see you writing and hear your voice. I know I've talked about that, but it's so important. What I had in the past is that people, it'd be like this, a webcam on their face, and they'd be writing, and then I wouldn't be able to see what they were writing when they were like this, and then they just show it, okay? I can't have that anymore. We got to figure something out where we can, I need to hear your voice and see what you're writing as you're talking, okay? I think the best bet is to take your phone, hold it above your paper, and record that way, okay? So it's important that we give that a shot. I think that's probably the easiest way. And, transferring those files, those can be done over email, Dropbox, Google Drive, AirDrop if you're using a Mac and an iPhone, those kinds of things. So, that's something that you're going to have to spend some time with trying to figure out what's going to work best for you, okay? And I want to make sure that you guys are, ready and capable to do that, and that this runs smoothly, okay? So that's all. All right, so I know I just said how I don't want you guys to upload videos to YouTube. However, an option available to you is to upload your videos to YouTube. You can do this a number of ways. You can do it through your phone. You can do it through your computer. But what I want you to know is that you have a Google account with your CMC account. So the same way that you sign in to your CMC account also provides you with a Google account. Because Google owns YouTube, you also have a free YouTube account, okay? And the cool thing about that is that these videos can be as long as you want, okay? You're not restricted to size, and then in order to submit, okay, you will submit a link into Canvas, okay? And you can do that, but you can also just directly submit these videos into Canvas, however you want to do it. I find that this is a lot easier to do
than submitting them on Canvas. But it all just depends on what you want to do. So, all right, next part.
All I got for this part. Okay, real quick, I want to talk to you guys about some of my expectations for Math 055. Because you're in Math 055, what that means is that you have shown us that you know all the most, if not all, of the concepts from Math 050. Okay, so you are responsible for all prior knowledge like operating with fractions. Now, I will help you with this, but it's also something you can't have that excuse and say, oh, I don't know how to do that, therefore I can't do this problem, okay? So you need to make sure that you remember how to do those types of things. I will help you through that process. You know, come to office hours and utilize, you know, the resources available to you, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is that not every homework problem will match the problem in the notes, okay? So you might encounter a homework problem that's like, ugh, this one might be kind of hard, okay? And you may not have an example like that. I will do my best to make sure that I have made extra videos for you to help you with those types of problems, okay? So if you want me to make a couple of more videos, you know, just let me know, okay? The other thing is that office hours and homework should be solutions are your friends. Use them as resources, okay? So use the solutions, use office hours to try and figure things out, to try and help you, you know, learn things you may not be comfortable with, okay? So it's really important that you utilize those resources, okay? Especially homework solutions. Use those to help figure out how to do problems, okay? So, yeah, just wanted to go over some of those expectations with you. All right, so just to wrap this up, guys, I want to just, you know, talk about a couple things. I know this is a lot of information in this video, but the first thing I want you to understand is that I want you to believe in yourself, okay? This class is going to be hard, all right? It's going to require a lot of time. It's going to require a lot of effort, but you can do it. You have to believe in yourself. That's the first thing, and I believe in every single one of you, and I know that you can do well in this class, okay? Now, just to close up, you know, want to talk about a couple things. First things first, communication. I will be sending out a weekly email, an announcement to you guys with regards to things that are going on. You can expect that usually over the weekend on Sundays, and that'll be an announcement on Canvas, and it'll also be, you know, sent to your email, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is that, you know, this might be a very brand new way for you to learn math, and that's okay. But I want you to believe in this process. I know it works. I think this is probably one of the best ways for you to learn math, but it's going to require effort on your part, okay? It's going to require you to be an active learner versus a passive learner, okay? And that's really cool, all right? Not many classes can say that. The last thing I'm going to say is success in this class is determined by hard work and time. Remember, guys, 10 to 15 hours per week. Okay? That's recommended. If you can do that, you're going to do great. All right? You got to make time for this. All right? So, you know, guys, let me know if you have any questions. That's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon. I can't wait to work with you.